Hi, I'm Monica McClain, and today I wanted to talk about money emotions. I am a licensed therapist, and I help people better understand their relationships and how their relationships with money impact their connections with people. So, before we get started, I want to share a quick disclaimer. While I am a licensed professional and I'm a mental health therapist, I am not your therapist. And the information shared here is for educational and informational purposes only. This content is not to substitute for like your individual therapy or any professional advice you may need. If you need that type of support to your situation, I strongly encourage you to reach out to a licensed therapist, a financial planner, or whatever you feel you need for your unique situation. So, welcome to Two Cents on Love, where love and money meet. Now, on this channel, we talk about your relationship with money, how it's shaped, and how it shows up in your partnerships, whether you realize it or not. One thing I believe is that money and love are deeply connected. And when your money feels out of balance, it's often a reflection of something deeper, sometimes even rooted in childhood experiences. So today I want to talk about something we don't hear enough about. It's the emotions behind money. Now, let me be clear about something. Money doesn't have emotions, right? We do. But what happens is we sometimes project our emotions onto money. And so when I talk about emotions and money, I'm really just saying or talking about how our emotions show up through our financial behaviors. Your money habits are not random, they are emotional patterns that come from experiences, your beliefs, and often your childhood. So, money becomes a mirror. It reflects what you feel about safety, control, worth, and even love. Now, all these emotions tend to show up in three main ways when we're talking about money, right? So we're talking about the money emotions. Okay, so the money emotions are saving, spending, and giving, right? So depending on your relationship with money, each of these can show up in a healthy or unhealthy way. So let's first talk about the first one, which is saving, and that represents security and control. Saving is often connected to a need for safety and control. So, in a healthy way, saving looks like you're planning for your future, you're feeling secure, and you're creating stability in your life. But in an unhealthy way, saving can look like hoarding money, being afraid to spend, feeling anxious even when you have enough. So for many people, this comes from early experiences where money felt like uncertain and unstable. Now, the second money emotion is spending, right? And what that kind of represents is comfort and emotional expression. Spending is often tied to comfort, reward, and emotional expression, right? So, like in a healthy way, you enjoy your money responsibly. You spend in alignment with your values. You express balance in your life, right? But in an unhealthy way, you're overspending to cope with your stress or emotions. You may use money for validation. You chase temporary happiness by spending your money. And so sometimes spending money becomes a way to fill your emotional gaps. And usually that's only temporary and money can't fix emotional gaps, right? Only you can fix that. The third money emotion is the giving, which often is tied to your connection and your worth. So oftentimes giving reflects how we connect with others, and oftentimes, sometimes we define it by, the more giving we are, the more worthy we are. So, in a healthy way, you giving from a place of love and generosity, you're giving from, when you do give, you feel joy in helping others. And when you do give, it's a way you maintain your healthy boundaries when you give. But like in an unhealthy way of giving, you overgive to receive value, you struggle to say no, and you tie your worth to what you provide. This often shows up when you've learned that love must be earned. Now, what's the relationship connection? Now, here's where this really matters. These money patterns don't just affect you, they show up in your relationships. Um, Once a partner, like if you have a partner who likes to save and then one who likes to spend, or you have one who gives too much and one who withdraws and doesn't like to give, and this looks like a money issue, it's really not. It's more of an emotional issue. So when you understand your relationship with money impacts your relationship patterns and how you relate to your partner, sometimes it's easier to deal with the actual emotional problem. And in a weird way, which we'll talk about in later videos, you will actually solve your money problems, right? And you'll solve them not by the temporary fixes of let me budget better, let me save X amount of dollars. Those are superficial ways of fixing money problems. In my opinion, I feel like they're tools. They're definitely valuable tools, but you need the tool, but you also need the understanding and awareness of what is happening for you to have this behavior in the first place. And if you combine both of them, right, the tool of let me organize and budget my money better along with why am I overspending? And if you can connect the reasons why and connect the tool, you'll have a better outcome. So when you understand your relationship with money, you begin to understand your relationship patterns. One thing I want you to do is I want you to have like some reflection time with yourself. And during this time, whether you're just thinking in the car, on your way to work, or if you have like regular journaling sessions, ask yourself, these questions. What does money represent to you? Is it safety, control, freedom, or love? And how are those beliefs showing up in your behavior and in your relationship? And what I mean by showing up in your relationship, when you show love to your partner, how do you show it? Are you, trying to buy gifts? Are you, giving? Like, think about how your money habits show up in your relationship. So, because it's not just about what you do with money, it's about what money actually means to you. And when you bring awareness to that, you create the opportunity for healthy habits and healthier love. This is Two Cents on Love, where money and love meet. If this resonates with you, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.